Welcome to the I'm Possible podcast, episode 12, with me, Anna Esen. If your product is not working for your client, maybe it's not your product, but their expectation of the outcome. In today's episode, I would love to talk with you about this, about the expectation of your clients when they decide to buy your product, your services, and your understanding that having unhappy clients or clients who are not getting the outcome they are expected, that is not always because your product and services wasn't valuable enough, wasn't good enough, that the quality of your offer wasn't good enough, but because your client had a subconscious expectation. That means he or she, they were energetically receiving from a place of that won't work for me. And let me zoom in a little on this topic. I had throughout the years few people that I work with in a different constellation in my different business endeavors. And I was able to observe that for some people, the way how I work with them works amazing. And there were few others that it just didn't move the needle for them. And when this happened, at the beginning, first I started doubting the quality of what I was offering. I started like internalizing their failure as my own and to ask myself, maybe I didn't do enough. Maybe my offer need to be better. Maybe I could have said it another way. Maybe. And sometimes this could be the case. But in today's episode, I want to talk uh, on the topic of when you could have delivered literally everything. You could have been given them your whole wisdom, your brilliance, your energy. But it wouldn't have moved the needle for them because their inner belief system was resisting the change. Your clients in this case, or these few clients in my case, they came to me not to find something that helps them grow and expand, that help them change, but they came so they can prove their subconscious belief that it won't work for them because they just didn't want it to change. Because their identity was wrapped in limitation and they just wanted somebody to feed into their limitations. And because I wasn't a person to feed the limitation and to support the victim mentality stories in some cases, not in all, but in some cases, um, it was easy for them to say that it didn't work and to say, no one can help me and to stay where they are because it is familiar, because it is comfortable. Even if not desired, it is known because are more afraid of the unknown than and prefer to stay in the hell of the known instead of to approach the paradise of the unknown. And why I know it is like that is because I have been on the other side. I literally had a case where I booked a session with an energy healer, and it was around a throat issue I had for years. So the first time this throat issue appears few years ago, when I actually had a angina. So it's like inflammation on in the throat. I had like 40 degrees fever, and um, after that this um, cold that I had, and I needed to take antibiotica and all this kind of stuff. I started having a huge issue with my throat, like burning and so on. So I thought it was because of that physical situation. Least that know, that I knew, so to say. But years later, I came to the understanding that it wasn't actually the physical illness that I had back there, but because of this illness, I had some very challenging situation with someone who I thought it was a very good friend of mine. And I was trying to solve a problem that occurred because I get sick in this very moment. And she overacted extremely. And I couldn't understand how someone can be so less understandable. That it's not that I wanted to have 40 degrees fever and to maybe not being able to commit um, to that what we were organizing together. I don't want to go in details, but later I understood that it had to do something with this situation where I just was trying to people please. And then every time when people ask a lot of support of me and so on, I was, even if I my throat was trying to show me that I'm crossing boundaries, but instead of hearing to my body, I was trying to please these people, to help them, to support them, right? Because the power woman mentality, always there for everyone, to save everyone. So that was just a small excurse. But because this was a challenge that I had for a long time and it was really, really painful, I tried so many treatments, from like everything that is going from doctors and so on to different other energetically situation, nutrition, and so on and so forth. You can imagine everything that was available, that I heard about, I did it. And in this situation was with a lady doing energetic healing. And because I have experienced so much already, that not consciously but subconsciously I didn't believe that something can help me. So, and when I did the session, surprise surprise, nothing changed. And it's not that I immediately realized and I knew, oh my God, that's because was my subconscious belief. No, no, no. It took me a few years to understand this situation or this belief, or let me say, a few months, not few years. But as I'm telling you, it wasn't conscious; it was subconscious. So because in some point in my life I was willing to reflect on all of this situation, because I think I invested six figure in my personal development in the last few years. And I was just sitting there and asking why for some works and in some situation for me it didn't work. And that is where I needed to be honest with myself, is where did I entered in order to subconsciously confirm that it doesn't work, so to say, for me. So, with telling you this, I want you to know that not all the clients who complain that your product or your services are not working. And I can give you even a small example with a, with a product. I was in the area of epigenetic and stem cells, so marketing and sales of products in epigenetic and stem cells. Amazing products. I still use them, right? And I had a client who said that it doesn't work for them. Later, I'll discover that they didn't even take the product consistently. Um, why? Because deep down, they already decided their condition is permanent and nothing can help. In the other side, I had the client, she took the products for her condition, and she was so amazed that she keep on coming back and ordering and ordering and ordering. And she even shared with me that areas of her health improved that she wasn't even expected to be improved, right? Because she had the subconscious belief and expectation that this will help her, that her condition is not permanent, that this can shift. So please remember, if a client isn't getting the result, don't immediately spiral into over giving. Please. I used to do this. Don't immediately question also your worth. And also, definitely don't start shrinking your light, because it's very painful to do so. I've been there. And I'm telling you this from a personal experience. Sometimes your clients are just not ready to receive what you're here to give. And I know this because I gave a strategy, a blueprint to a client that literally overwhelmed his nervous system. But the reason why this happened is because of two things. One, this client wasn't yet ready to step into his full potential, to call in more of himself, herself, into his business. So I don't want to put a gender on it, right? And because the strategy I gave her was so simple, so actionable, immediately actually actionable, so powerful. They wasn't expecting that I can give them a solution, a strategy for something that seemed for them in this moment kind of impossible, but that they were willing to go for it, or at least they said they were willing to go for it. And then suddenly to receive a strategy that is immediately actionable and workable and practical and have the potential to go beyond what they were aiming for, that they completely froze. So that's why now when I choose to work with a client, my client needs to show me that she's ready to take this bold decision, that she's ready to step into her powerful version of self, that she's ready to take courageous steps. And I'm alongside with her, right? Depending on, of course, what kind of of solution she choose to work with me, what kind of mentorship she choose to work with me or he. I also work with men. It's not only women. Um, but yeah, don't shrink your light. It's not always what we haven't delivered, but it's what they were ready to receive. Remember that your work is sacred. Remember that your product is powerful. And remember that your responsibility on your end is to deliver it with clarity, with integrity, with authenticity, love, and truth. And whether your clients are ready to meet it, that's their part of the transformation. It's not yours. I see you. I love you. Anna.